a sum of €1,800,000 is being spent on a so-called information programme for Ireland, begun last July and going on into next year, which is undoubtedly aiming to try and soften people up to vote yes to this referendum. There are cinema advertisements, there are ads in the newspapers, ads on billboards and so on. Fines by the Brussels Commission. Barroso and others come over here ordering to vote yes. It's quite unlawful. If this treaty is put through, it will be on the basis of monumental illegality. One, the Brussels Commission is not entitled to interfere under European law. It would take a long court case over a couple of years probably to show it, but that's undoubtedly the legal position. The Foreign Affairs Department here, Ivy House, is blatantly flouting the Supreme Court principles in McKenna by sending around free documents, the postcard about the so-called guarantees, which don't guarantee anything, the summary of the white paper, which is very one-sided and it doesn't say actually vote yes or no, but it leans very much to one side. This is misuse of public funds under the McKenna principles. And so there's, and the referendum is not doing its proper job in failing to tell citizens how the Constitution will be affected by the Constitutional Amendment. It's telling citizens about all sorts of other things, but it's not drawing their attention to those first 3 sentences of the Constitutional Amendment, which you should look at carefully yourselves when you get the amendment in your bank paper. So people all over Europe want us to vote no. We're the only state in Europe allowed a referendum, because the Prime Minister said we daren't put it to referendum in France. Sarkozy said that, or in Holland, because they rejected again. And McCreevy said that many countries would reject it, and of course that is true. That most citizens in Europe, when they're actually asked, do not want to be made citizens of an EU federation run on most undemocratic lines, where their own state, a traditional national state, becomes in effect a provincial state within a federation, dominated by the big states. They don't want that. And if they know about it, they're against it. But referendums have been avoided, and that of course avoids a national debate in so many countries. So we alone have the opportunity of putting a spanner in the works of this treaty. I believe it can be defeated if enough people know what's in it. And there's a big challenge before us all to try and tell our citizens, our fellow citizens, our neighbours, our friends, our community, to go house to house in doing some canvassing in the next 10 days, to pass out a bit of literature to people and say, I'm really concerned about this Lisbon Treaty. We're not being told the truth about it. We're not being told that it's a huge increase in the power of the big states. We're not being told the truth that it's in effect a federation of kind of United States of Western Europe, or Central and Western Europe, in which we will be made citizens with the duty of obedience and loyalty to that federation, being superior to our duty of obedience and loyalty to our own national state, Ireland in our case, or the other member states in their cases. We're not being told the truth about that. It's being disguised and hidden. It's a battle of David against Goliath, or perhaps David against several Goliaths, but it can be won on the basis of citizens actually telling one another and coming out and voting on October the 2nd, voting no to what is undoubtedly a very bad treaty for Ireland, for the European Union. And that would open up the way for a move towards a more genuine cooperation in Europe that would not be based upon a political union, but keeping the economic union or trying to improve that, but not moving towards a political union under the political hegemony of Germany, France, and Italy, and Britain. Because that's really the issue before us. So I would urge you to work in that campaign and to do your best to defeat this referendum as being in the best interest of ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren, and of Europe as a whole. Thank you.